All right. It's time here for a big old grand finals between these two absolute monsters. In the bottom left, we've got, of course, Maru, and his opponent in the top right, it's Rogue. Now, this is the DreamHack Winter Grand Finals between these two. It's a best of 7 match, and they've been playing a lot recently, and next in a bunch of other tournaments. We've seen, of course, Rogue here, sometimes coming out the worse for wear in the late game. He looks really good in the early game, the mid game sometimes, but it feels like Rogue is a little more prone to kind of getting overwhelmed. Maru, it feels like, falls behind pretty consistently versus Rogue, but then he's very good at switching into a defensive stance when needed, is Maru, with most of his units, and then just picking away at Rogue with like, drop here, drop there, drop here, drop there, drop here, drop there, drop there, now I drop over here. And like, and we see Rogue break sometimes, and it's kind of funny because it feels like, honestly, on a strategic level, I really do feel that Rogue tends to have Maru's number. But is he going to be able to kind of stitch that together into a victory? Because he can get ahead in a situation where you'd expect him to win from there, and it can still just slip away depending on how the game goes. Big thanks, Lou Rain, for the sub there, by the way. Thank you, mate. So Maru, he's been doing a lot of 3 command center play, right? Him and Clem both, but Maru's also been really rushing that 4th command center quite regularly as well. Now that was interesting. Maru's barracks is he going, did he go gas first? Oh, I was like, why is Maru's barracks like 4 seconds late, 4 seconds late? He's going gas first. He's going to drop a really quick factory. He's going to have really quick Reaper Hellion aggression. Now, normally I would do that into a Liberator. You could do it into Banshees or a Battle Cruiser potentially. Maybe a Battle Cruiser opening, actually. So this is interesting because what this does, right? Your first Reaper is meant to pop at a minute 58. In this case, look at that. It's like 5 seconds, maybe 6 seconds late because he's gone gas before barracks. On the other hand, though, he's able to afford the factory at a very quick timing. This went down just past a minute 50. Now, he did a CV scout with it, and he's blocked that 3rd base, forced him to take the 3rd, which Rogue didn't really want to take. And the Reaper's going to arrive. Reaper's very ineffective off gas first. Just kind of, it's more about joining up with the Hellions and just scouting rather than doing damage. Because look at that, you chip at the Zerglings, and then there's going to be a Queen out. Now, the thing is, you're pretty happy as Maru because you've seen, well, this guy built 6 Zerglings. Why the hell did you build 6 Zerglings? Like, I mean, you can almost always get away with 4 on a map this size, unless it's like Beckett, where you really need the extra Zerglings. But especially because it's gas first, Rogue could have got away with like 2 Zerglings here and had 2 more drones out. So he's got to be a little annoyed in that regard, does Rogue, realizing, oh, this is a late Reaper. He should know, Rogue should know that it's gas first. Now he's got to worry about early Hellions, but he doesn't have an Overlord out front of the base, so check this out, guys. Remember, with the 3 command center build, that's the most common, Hellions start building at 3 minutes 15 to 3:18. In this case, you're more than a full cycle of Hellions ahead. Oh, he's missed his 4th Hellion. Oh, Maru. Maru's doing a pig, guys. He thought he queued 2 of them, but he didn't quite have the minerals, so he thinks 2 Hellions are about to pop out. Oh, he's doing a pig. Maru making a very uncharacteristic error there. He's going to see that. He's going to go, yep, queue up 2 more. And he's gonna, oh, what? I've only got 3. Oh, he's trying to dive with his first 2. Wing speed's not ready. The Reaper will go down, but it doesn't look like he's going to get any actual drone kills. So he loses a Reaper for 5 Zerglings. Hellion's heavily bruised. He's taking a break on Hellion production behind that. He's going to go into Cloak Banshee, Barracks, Stim. So this was all about trying to do damage with the 2 Hellion Reaper dive, but the Queens were well positioned. They did enough damage. He didn't really achieve anything. This is shit for Maru so far. This opening looks great for Rogue. Even though I talked about the 6 Zerglings maybe being more than he needed. Oh, he's going Mutas for sure. Okay, so Rogue's going to play quick Mutas, guys. That's a very quick lair. And I got a question just going straight Banshees and only committing to 3 Hellions. And the whole advantage of a gas first is to keep the momentum going with the aggression. And it's worth delaying your 3rd command center a little to do that. He's got a very quick 3rd command center. I don't know, this seems like the pattern with Maru recently, though, is against these top-tier Zergs like Rogue, Raynor. It feels like sometimes he does just wash up on their defenses in the early game, fall behind, and default to turtle mode. And he's got the lightest of pressures. Single Cloak Banshee, does get a drone, not too bad. Now, that being said, Rogue's a little slow to saturate his third base, considering how much he shut down what was going on before. His natural's not fully saturated either. It's partially, of course, because he's rushing this Spire out. Pre-5-minute Spire very early. That Banshee already taking a big bruising. Another Banshee will come out here. He's got 3 barracks on the way. Double engineering bay in the back of the natural. Maru does need those 2 gases, or he's going to really struggle in this next stage. And he's actually very late on that because he's microing his Banshee. Gets another drone. Still only 3 workers, though. This Banshee behind the third, though, maybe this could add in a little bit more. Banshee's going to try and escape. He's almost out of energy, but it looks like he does get out of there. Hellions just going to look for some creep tumors as the other Banshee comes in behind the third. Rogue's economy does not look that great. His worker count, it feels like Rogue here. I mean, he's banking really hard on this first round, and Muta's doing some good damage, and definitely thought he'd get more of a worker advantage, but time will tell. Those mutas could still be a huge problem for Maru. They're going to hit a lot earlier than you might expect. That being said, he does see very early gas on the third base. Might tip him off as to what's happening. 4th and 5th barracks coming down now. 1-1 upgrades, of course, are going to be miles ahead. Rogue has no plan of going for that. The Spire there does finish. And we're going to see he's got a fair bit of resources banked up. We expect 7 mutas to be coming out, maybe 8 to start off. It's only got 5 lava at this moment. There we go. 7 mutas will be the order of the day. The Zergling blocks that third from landing. Nice being a nuisance there from Rogue. And does he take his 4th to the front, or does he expand out to the left side of the map? Time will tell. Zergling's getting ready. He wants to morph Banelings, I believe, and send those in that mineral line. And double Evo chamber starts up here for Rogue as well. Maru's going to push down the left side of this map. Yeah, 4 Baneling roll by. But the Banshee stationed on the third. They're going to defend that easily. Hellion Marine comes on forward, does get rid of some creep, gets rid of the Overlord as well. 1-1 in shields. Upgrades are kind of far away right now. That being said, Rogue doesn't have a lot of units. And is this enough? Oh, no combat shields on the Marines. He only is able to focus down like 1 muta. Transfuses the weak muta as well. And that is a shutdown. Sometimes an opportunistic little push like that, even before your upgrades are ready, can be really powerful. In this case, the mutas have shut it down, and it's backfired. He loses 2 medevacs. He's going to lose some more Marines there. He does get one of the mutas. There goes a piece of the medevac flying right past us. Some of those SCVs going down. He's thinking about going for combat shields, but he's going to pop. Oh, the Marines as they pop. Watch out for the Widowmine friendly fire. He does pull his SCVs back, but not before he takes a fair bit of that friendly fire. And the Marines going down as they pop. It's game over. I mean, he's going to lose his Marines as they pop. What can he do? Is he going to unburrow his Widowmines and walk them up here? Rogue can absolutely just keep fighting these Marines. He's going to play it careful. Goes for the medevac. But, oh, he does go for the Marines then. He's going to lose his mutas eventually. Okay, 2 of them do go down. 1-1 in shields has kicked in. Banshees in the main are going to answer. And actually, this spore positioning seems so smart. But we realize it's actually not the greatest, is it? Mutaling, though, on the third base, going to get even more damage done. Rogue says, fine, kill my drones in my main. I'm going to kill you, dickhead. Every single SCV going to go down on that third base. And as we said, Maru losing that first initial core of Marines, he's now in so much trouble, dude. The Marines just getting hammered. Another Mutalist does fall, but another one falls as well. But the Marines managing to kind of collect their numbers a little bit. Oh, bunch of mutas. Very low, but remember they regen really quickly, and every Zergling that comes in is fighting SCVs right now. The dream for the Zergling, it's you know, the wolf has gotten into the hen house. Maru getting rolled over. And that gas first opening for Maru, it was a 2 Hellion dive into an unconvincing follow-up. Banshee's not really finding much. GG's. All right, going into map number 2, down here in the bottom right, he is Rogue. Bit of rouge in his cheeks, bit of blush there, looking excited after the way he hammered this boy's opening in game 1. This is Maru. So, I kind of wish I rewound that last game, because I do wonder if the gases being just a little late on the natural did delay the combat shields and the 1-1 starting a little. Not sure, of course. I think Maru is just one of those things where, in hindsight's 2020. Probably shouldn't have committed to that push timing that he did. In general, though, that's something you want to be cautious of, because I love gas first, TvZ. I really think it's a cute opening. You see this time he's gone the barracks, then he's taken the gas, bit more of a standard opening. So this is not going to be like that. But in that last game, it slows down your Marine pressure, your third command center, your stim timings, almost always, right? Those timings become weaker and they should usually be done a bit more cautiously, more like ready to just pick up and boost out at the first sign of trouble, right? Whereas it leans into early Hellions, proxy starports, like battle cruisers, very gas heavy things, and just generally like layers of Hellion dives. But yeah, I'm not sure if Maru had a different plan and abandoned it when he didn't get any damage with the first 2 Hellions. But it's kind of fascinating because it looked so flaccid. That last opening for Maru, it looked unimpressive. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of the ladies in the chat kind of go, oh my god, what did you think those 2 Hellions on that Reaper were going to do? That was so unimpressive, Maru. But I've seen guys like Maru take advantage of that timing. People delay their link speed so much. I remember, I'm thinking of a Lambo game. I think it was first Cure. And Lambo was like peak ZVT form at that time. And Cure got in with the first 2 Hellions and the Reaper and killed like 7 of Lambo's drones. Because he managed to like just one-shot down like the Zerglings, because Lambo was not expecting it and his slow Zerglings got gunned down and the Hellions just ran circles around his base. But we saw that time Rogue had great Overlord positioning, immediately moved his Queens, got a lot of damage on the Reaper and the Hellion as they ran past. He got his Zerglings in front of them, so even the slow Zerglings were landing hits. You know, it was that situation where you're like, okay, that surprise 2 Hellions coming out real early, did not find the mark, and it is what it is. Now, he's actually gone Reactor first this time, no Reaper guys. So he's got these Marines out here hunting for any Overlords crossing to get up here, ready to sacrifice in the main. Of course, we know Rogue hasn't done that. He's just kept one on the pervert pillar over there, and that's about it. Now, Maru, if he... Oh no! No, he's getting ambushed! Rogue's looking for him. Rogue's like, where are you, bro? He's like, oh, he'll come back down here at some point. Now, are they in vision? Just out of vision. Oh, he hasn't seen the Lings. The Lings haven't seen him. You're kidding me! He's gonna get out of there! Wait, they saw. There's a gap there on the sight blocker. The sight blocker only doesn't go to the edge. But there's more Marines now. So the Zerglings, knowing there's 4 Marines, they got to back off. Doesn't get the ambush. Now, this is a 3-rax build order, guys. So 3-rax build order. Good build in TVP. This is what you do in TvZ or TVT on the ladder if you're a donkey. So what do we mean? We mean, like, if you want to do a build that's not good for the matchup, you do a 3-rax. So why is Maru doing it? It's because people don't do it very much. It's not bad. It's, let's just say it leads to very one-sided results generally. So your aim here is to exert a lot of pressure on the Zerg and to kind of threaten pushes without overcommitting. You move out with your Marines, you stim your shields, you go, oh, oogie boogie. And in theory, an intelligent Zerg is going to see you move out, build a shit ton of Lings, Queens, be panicking, and then you're going to kind of threaten and you're just going to back off and maybe pull back and then maybe go back in and threaten. And then you're going to back off and then you're going to threaten. And then you're never actually going to commit on creep because the Zerg's been an intelligent, safe Zerg who's built plenty of Lings and Banes. And then somehow your third is landing and you're equal on workers with the Zerg. And they're kind of fucked because you've actually got more stuff than them. And you're like, how did this happen? Well, you skipped all those tech units. The problem is if you do commit a little too deep, you can just get surrounded and go to fucktown. Now, did Rogue not fucking notice that? Rogue! This is the most Rogue thing ever to not see that move out. Oh my god, Rogue dies in the dumbest ways. Rogue's gonna take so much damage. He was building drones as this moved out. Rogue just literally didn't pay attention to his Overlord and moved his Zergling out of the way, so he didn't even realize this was coming. He didn't have extra supply free or anything. Oh no, Rogue! He's gonna just die to a 3-rax. So I talked about the theory. Sometimes your opponent doesn't realize what's happening and they just fucking die. Now this is the Diamond League result of this build order. This is not what's meant to happen in pro games. This is crazy damage. He'll finally get held, but my god, that's game over. I don't know how you recover from that. He just killed fucking 9 Queens, 25 Zerglings, and 4 drones. The units lost tab tells us a certain story. That is Rogue is in big trouble, man. Oh my god. So I don't think he even saw that move out. I mean, he had the Overlord. I thought he realized what he was up against. This guy hasn't pressured at all. He's got no Hellions. You think you would be a little more cautious than that, but Maru just sticking such a crisp timing, really catching Rogue off guard, and felt like Rogue a little slow to react. Having Queens is good against these sort of attacks, but as you can see, they don't really do the killing. The Queens do a good job of tanking, But the way it works, same thing against the 2-1-1, a double medevac stim drop, is your queens are meant to engage, and then your zerglings either come from behind or come in, and the marines have to kind of disengage from the queens so that they kill the zerglings, because zerglings are very high damage units, right? But they're very fragile. So you need to like stutter step your marines back. But then if you force the marines to kind of disengage from the queens by stutter stepping back, your zerglings can then pull back. So normally what you're meant to see is that the wall of queens engages the marines. The marines stutter step into the queens to try and focus them down. The lings come forward. The marines have to stutter step back. And you have this dance that goes on where the lings don't want to engage the marines on their own, right? If they chase the marines too far, they just get their ass kicked because the queens are like trying to waddle off creep and catch up and they're not taking part in the fight. And at the same time, you don't want your queens to get caught unsupported by the marines. And that's kind of the little dance that goes on. But in that case, it was basically just queens. The handful of zerglings was so unimpressive, it didn't matter. This is game. We've talked about this ledge. You're not meant to be able to get on that ledge. You're not meant to be able to get on that ledge. Oh, this is the fuck ledge, guys. Oh, no. Oh, shit me. Oh, you just can't. This position is unbreakable. That is an unbreakable position. Yeah, Rogue has to just counterattack. And he knew he was in a dodgy position already. So he's like, yep, I'm mentally prepared for this. Transfer drones up there. So you know what? This might actually work. This could get him back in this game. Massive Bane bust. Maru panicking a little bit here. He's going to pull SCVs to fight Banelings. He's trying to stutter step. He's got to save. Okay, he saved some of the Marines. He should probably go back and save some of those SCVs as well. The Banelings are going to breach the main. Oh, tank gets up, and it's in a little bit of a choke point, so it's not quite getting surrounded. His reactor gets blown up just because Banelings got shot down next to it. Those Banelings, this one, that's a juicy Baneling. Zerglings on the natural. They need to get in on those worker lines. He's lost his third. Not the most important. Can he gather up defense at all, though? He's still been rallying across the map. Rogue's going for the kill move, but he's going to get thrust in. Maru is going to thrust on in, and he's in big trouble. He's trying to make Banes at home. He's trying to get a defense. He's going to lose his natural as well. Rogue back to 2 hatcheries. He needs to do more damage on the other side, but it looks like Marines, SCVs, and a medevac gathered together, and they do defend the ramp. The Drilly boys holding the line. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Banelings forcing an unsiege and a pickup. Maru, the better part of Valor, retreating in this instance. Few queens are out right now, guys. They're in the main base. One popping out at the third. He could shoot down these medevacs potentially. Now, this scenario, there's so many SCVs that got damaged and didn't die, right? Oh, yeah, I think Maru's got it. And he unloads on the watchtower like a Chad gamer. Focuses down all the Banes. Okay, he does take one Baneling to the face, but still, that was a juicy fight. The one queen waddling off creep. You're in the wrong neck of the woods, boy! She's like, I'm not a boy, go fuck yourself. Unfortunately, those were her last words as she does get shot down. The Marines, I don't know, doesn't sound as aggressive saying girl as boy. I think that's why the Marines, they always do that when they're killing people. Anyways, Banelings get gunned down, Queen's trying to back up, but Rogue not quite able to get the critical damage. And you can see it was a pretty good strategy if he had just a handful more Zerglings and Banelings getting in the mineral line. He was inches from doing another 30 SCVs of damage and then being in the driver's seat. He could have lost 2 hatches and still done it from there. Just needed to get Maru down to like 10, 20, 15 workers, something like that. GG, well played. Very good play. Maru ties up the series 1-1. All right, going straight into game 3, guys. In the top left, Maru there with a nice comeback victory. And his opponent, the smartest, biggest brain player in the world. Some of the best preparation ever. And yeah, that last game kind of was Rogue falling down the steps. He almost salvaged it, but why was he in such a bad position to begin with? Well, it's just Rogue doing Rogue things. When Rogue plays Maru, he falls down the steps so regularly. So many famous matches where he's been in like a winning position or just in a normal early game, and then Maru just kills him with like the most simple maneuver. I remember at Katowice where they played, and Maru was like, oh, I'm gonna run 6 Hellions in. And Rogue was like, oh, I didn't build any Zerglings. I've just got 70 drones. And he loses like 40 drones to 6 Hellions and just loses the game. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess that happens to everyone once in a while. 2 games later in the same best of 5, fucking exact same thing. And I'm like, Rogue, stop! I'm like, it's a basic thing. It's a 6 Hellion dive. And that last game, I mean, that was obviously a pretty powerful attack, but he was very, very short on Zerglings. Like, Rogue was objectively being greedy. And he took a bit too much damage there, didn't he? So I don't want to see any more of those mess ups, Rogue. You get one in a best of 7. One of those, any more, and it's going to be unnecessary because Maru's hard enough to kill if you don't give him any freebies. But taking that much damage from 20 Marines, right, literally walking across the map. For those you don't know, guys, when a Terran does that sort of build order, a 2-1-1 or a 3-rax, there is a safety precaution that you take as a Zerg. So as a Zerg player, normally you want to build just drones, right? So let me break down the theory of this. You build drones, and then you want to, if you scout, you know when your opponent's going to attack you ahead of time, or you see them move out, and you build just enough units at the last minute to defend it. Because if you build those units too early, well, guess what? You don't have many workers because everything comes out of lava. It's all out of this one shared resource. So if you're just building units all the time for no reason, you just put yourself behind, okay? So it makes perfect sense, right? Problem. In that last game, Rogue did not take safety precautions. He's like, well, you're not building Hellions. You've gone early Marines. There's a lot of things that could hit me off this. All to do with Stim and Marines and Medevacs. 2-on-1, 3-rax. These are all common build orders. Maru loves to do them both. And yet it felt like Rogue, he left no free supply. He didn't pay attention to his scouting, his overlord and zerging outside the base. And he was still building drones as Maru left. Now, if I was wanting to be as greedy as Rogue was in that last game, I would have my eyes bloody glued to the minimap. Being like, is he moving out? What's he doing? I'd have a Zergling poking in and out at the front. And I would also have 3 or 4 extra overlords free. What does that mean, guys? Let's say 3 overlords free. That's 24 free supply. I'd be at like, say, 50 out of 75 supply. Why? Because that means, oh shit, I see Marines move out. I'm not suddenly going, oh, I need to build overlords before I can build any units. It means every bit of lava can go towards Zerglings. All I'm doing is gathering my queens at the front, injecting, building Zerglings, gathering my defenses. Rogue did not take those safety precautions. Rogue was being way too greedy in that last game. He was building overlords, and then he also didn't even notice the move out. So honestly, on a strategic level, what Rogue did was shit the bed. And that is not me being harsh on Rogue. It's me saying, when you're a multiple-time world champion who is in the contention for greatest of all time like Rogue, you shouldn't be making mistakes like that. And he knows it. But against Maru has this strange quality where he makes him make these mistakes all the time. Now, guys, I don't know what's happening right now. The fuck is... What's this build? Why is Rogue's economy so shit? Okay, so Rogue's planning to do a Ravager Ling all-in. But he's really slow on finishing off his drone count. So it's a really very committed one. He might even walk queens. And he's dealing with a Hellbat attack. So this should be GG, easy win for Rogue, as long as he gets the roaches out before the Hellbats do critical damage. And I think he should. As long as he starts roaches right now, this should be basically a build order victory for him. Because he's going to be building roaches without even realizing there's a Hellbat attack. He's planning to do an attack. This is perfect for Rogue. Yep. Queen's there, going to dance. He's got 8 roaches. His Zerglings are going to go for a run by. Great maneuver there. He knows they're not going to be much use against Hellbats. And just keep all the queens alive. Your roaches are going to pop out. And Maru's got to feel his heart drop. Seeing those roaches, he's like, shit. He knows he's on a timer. Drones need to pull. Already loses 4 drones or 3 drones. Yeah, 4 drones unnecessarily. But, I mean, look at this. Hellbats, you can't really load them in. He takes a lot of losses here. Does Mr. Maru. And it looks like Maru's just going to get bopped. A lovely build order victory here. And you know what? This is the sort of victory I'm used to seeing from Rogue. And this is why I talk about him maybe not being the best endgame player. Because he picks his builds better than just about anybody. And he is so far ahead off this build order. First Banshee's out, though. So he's not going to be able to actually kill him with this. He walked a queen across. So he's actually... He's just going to turn around. You're not going to go for the bust. I don't think a Banshee defends that, guys. A few Hellbats? I don't know, man. I think if he was committing hard to Ravagers and Lings, he could have done it, but now his drone count just looks trash. I got to be critical, guys. Rogue's economy sucked balls. He was committed to this. He was really committed to this. He's got a lair up very early. That's just for the Overseer to defend. His economy's just sucked balls. I'm rewinding this game at the end to show you guys how bad his early game was, guys. Zerg should not have this few drones all game, even if they're doing a Roach Ling all in. I honestly, I don't... He doesn't have an Overlord on the edge of his main, doesn't see this coming in. He has more than enough units to defend, but they're just not in the right position. He loses 11 workers. I mean, this is... I hate to say it, guys, but Rogue and Maru are 2 of the greatest players in the world until they face each other. And they bring each other down like 6 levels in terms of execution. It's so fucking weird. He scans the Nidus Worm. Oh my god. Okay, I'm just going to hype cast it because this has turned into an NA ladder match at this point, guys. He sees the Nidus. He cancels it and builds a Spire, does Rogue, but he's down 10 SCVs. He's dead. Maru is macroing properly and Rogue just isn't. Even if he kept those 11 drones alive, he'd still be behind in this game. Honestly, guys, this has been Rogue screwing the pooch macro-wise. He's tangling himself up strategically and not. So little decisiveness here from Rogue in this game 3. And it feels like Maru's going to... I mean, condition for Maru losing the game. What is the condition for Maru losing the game? Well... Rogue needs to go Infestors? I don't fucking know. I don't think he can... The numbers are just so bad for him right now. He's going to try and run him with some roaches. The door's down! And there's a tank just standing... Oh, he barely saves it. Okay, the roaches get a cute little trade here. Go to the third, pick off some SCVs, and then get out of there. Seems like a good way to do it. Force the Marines to use another stim. Still not within 1 shot of killing them, but 2 shots. I mean, he gets a couple units. He damages some stuff, but that was just a little pokey poke. And I look at that worker count, guys. Guys, if you're on roaches and you're down in supply and you're down on workers, I mean, at this point, you're just dead. Rogue is so dead, guys. I don't want to be the hype killer, but honestly, what was Rogue's early game? I can't believe it. I mean, it was not the crispest roach timing. It really was not. I don't know if he got supply blocked on 36 or what happened. This really felt like one of my ladder games where I'm reading Twitch chat at the start. And I don't want to put hate on Rogue because he's an infinitely better player than I am. It's just a bummer because I always feel like I watch him and I go, oh, you're so smart. And then on the strategic level, and he just slips up on the execution in these high tier matches sometimes. Sometimes he just crushes them. We'll see what happens. Biles do go down. Tank gets blasted. Great angling for Rogue. Very good first initial setup on the fight. But he doesn't have enough units to actually take this out. He's going to triple bile the tank. Does unfortunately get his overseer at the same time. Rogue's going to hang on for now. Nice focus fire on the Ravagers. Transfuse, though, to counter it. Very well done. He's just got no fucking units, like I said. Rogue takes a near perfect engagement, but he's just outgunned. He's outnumbered. Look at this. He's pulling back Ravagers and bloody transfusing him. But he's just got no stuff. And Maru's like, oh, I guess I push in here because you have no things. 2-2's going to be finishing around the same time as 1-1 does for the Zerg. 69 workers may indeed be a meme number, but I don't think it's going to get him back in this one, fam. He's going to go for a hive, maybe get a Viper or 2 out. Doesn't even have a Hydroden down right now. The Spire did fucking nothing this game. And we are looking at a bit of a shit show here in game 3. Yeah. Hellbats get countered by roaches, guys. Did you know that? They do. It's a thing. It's a real thing. Unfortunately, roach pushes do feel a little shitty against banshees if they see you coming, right? So I think there's an argument that maybe Rogue should have just had more drones initially when that first push was coming. But, felt like he was planning to go all in, and just somehow him getting scouted and losing a few drones was a little bit too much. And look at this, guys. It's a scouting medevac. Look at that. He's like, oh, it's a Widow Mine drop. Look at me. I'm making of a Widow Mine drop. But it's not a real Widow Mine drop, guys. It's empty. It's fake. Tried to pull the army out of position and allowed him to get a snipe on the hatchery. You genius. Maru is just like, hey, Rogue. Distraction. Rogue's like, what? And the medevac's flying in. He's like, distraction. Where we got guns. They're like playing speakers on the side of the medevac that are playing gun shooting noises. They're like, yeah. There's Marines in here with guns. Come over here. He just needed them to get out of position for a moment and he snipes the 4th base. So Maru is now in a dominating position. I would say push out at about 180 supply is probably the best timing for him because he's got 2-2. He's got +1 vehicle weapons about to kick in. He's got his 8 barracks on the way, so he's adding 1, 2, 3 barracks with tech labs to add marauder production. He's just going to keep harassing with Marines for now because there's very little anti-air for Rogue. See what damage he can find. I think he just saw the army was out of position, so he's just going for a bit of a cheeky dive. I mean, the Spire looks tempting, but I think he will just pick up and leave. Well, those biles starting to land on some of these medevacs. Oh, he gets a full medevac. Nicely done by Rogue, who I don't know if he really cares about losing the Spire too much. And, all right, Maru's going to just saturate the 4th. But yeah, like I said, 180 supply, guys. He could just go. He's pretty much there. If he just grabs all of his tanks and pushes. I mean, is there a way you hold? As Rogue, there is the Dream. And that Dream involves Blinding Clouds on the tanks and Roach Hydra getting a good concave. But 2-2 Bio versus 1-1. And there's no Marauders in the mix. A few good Corrosive Biles could help. But it's only Roach Ravager. There's no Hydras. There's no good damage output in this army, mate. Does Bile one of those tanks. A few more Biles spreading across this army. Yoinks a siege tank to its death. Very nicely done with the Vipers. And he's trying to gather up. He's got a Lurker. Oh, he's got a Lurker. I think he's okay. I think he survives. Maru needs to go Ghost late game now. Rogue is going to force it to late game. He's going to have no map control, though. And I got to say, if it was dark in Rogue's shoes, I'd be hyping it up a bit more. As it is, I mean, Rogue's doing a good job of hanging on. The Dream is alive. He's obviously got to gather more energy with those Vipers. Runs forward, gets some Biles. The Marines are going to just jump on him. Oh, he just doesn't have enough support. He just doesn't have enough units. Oh, no. Maru just had too much there. GG, well played. What happened? What was this early game, guys? I can't cast the rest of this series until I look at this early game from Rogue. I can't. I don't, because I was looking at it, I was going, why is he on 30 drones going to 5 queens? I was so confused. So if we look at it, it's 16 hatch, 18 gas, 17 pool. Looks like a pretty standard build order here. He's not building a 20th drone. There we go. 20th drone does come out. It's just waiting for the lava. He's going to go 21 drone. Yep, he's not going to go for the 20 Overlord. That's fine. He sends a drone out to his 3rd just before the Reaper arrives. That's all good. It's pretty standard stuff. Overlord comes down. Then the 3rd hatch tries to defend with some Zerglings. Reaper doesn't really get any real damage done. Maybe gets a Zergling or 2. Gets 1 Zergling. Queen's out. He's droning here. This is all solid stuff, guys. This is all solid stuff. At some point here, though, Rogue does some crazy shit. Pulls off gas, leaves 1 on. Okay. Reaper jumps in, gets a Spore Trick. It's an annoying distraction. Rogue gets supply blocked on 44. Oh my god. Yeah, Rogue just got distracted by the Reaper and forgot to build an Overlord, guys. He should have been building it on like 36 supply. He starts it on 44. It's not the worst supply block because he doesn't have any lava right now, right? It's just popping out. So it's only going to delay a few drones. The problem here is that I'm pretty sure those drones are meant to come out pre-Roach Warren, right? But instead he's like, nah, we're building a Roach Warren now instead. And I'm kind of like, dude, I think you need more drones right now. And he's still not building them. He builds 4 more Zerglings because he's worried about the Hellion Reaper. Drones, bro. So there is a massive delay on these drones. Even if he just built like 5 more workers, guys, he should have been building those probably before the Roach Warren and the gas. But now he's queuing up the drones. So he's actually like 40 seconds late on this handful of drones. He only builds 4 more. And he doesn't build any more drones, right? So he's doing a very low economy Roachling attack, a very committed one. He's going for 8 Roaches and then Speedlings. So I guess I'm kind of surprised here. 35 drones is such a low economy. I mean, to be fair, this is a 420 light 'em up build. 6 Hellbats, 3 Marines, and a Reaper. This is a classic build from Maru. And he doesn't have a 3rd command center either. So as long as you shut this down, you should be okay. Every queen is at the front, so he's not lava injecting already. Now that's kind of surprising. So I'm wondering, was he planning on walking his queens across the map? Why is every single queen at the front? I guess it's because he's just trying to give off the illusion of like, whoa, look, I've got 4 queens. I'm doing a macro build. This is a macro build. And so like if the Hellions were just veering around, you'd have your queens out front and it would make it so the Hellions don't dive in and see that this base is empty, right? Because there should be plenty of drones on here by 4:30. So the idea is if I bring every queen to the front, I can kind of beat it off. And normally Hellions will rotate from here to here to here, right? But what happens is as they go to the top side, your Roaches and Lings all slide out the bottom and get across the map and you surprise him and then you kill him. And that's like a really cool all-in. But I guess Rogue's actually so low on economy that even though he shuts this push down, he loses 4 drones. So he should have pulled the drones back a bit early. 4 drones is a lot when you're only on 35. And he's like, oh, it's been spotted. He's going to have Banshees and stuff, so this isn't really going to do anything. And Maru also responds really nicely there. He only loses a single SCV to the Zergling run by. So that was like really well done. It's like, these Zerglings can't get in because he eBay walls it. And then there's a Banshee out. And because he was missing injects, Rogue was actually so all in that I kind of misread this early game. So did Rogue mess up his early game? He did a little bit, guys, with the 44 supply block. Yes. However, he was just committing to such an all-in that even though Maru's attack looked like it was bad, it's scouting what Rogue was doing and him saving some of the Hellbats in a medevac was actually worth it. Because just seeing that Rogue was this all-in, it was actually fine. Even though it had been a bad trade for Maru in terms of units lost, the information was worth its weight in gold. Because he's like, whoa, build Banshees, keep him at home. And I think he was already planning to build Banshees, so it was already a good follow-up for this situation for Maru. Where if Maru was building Vikings and the like, that would be really good. And then obviously Rogue tries to reset, and these 11 drones are just the absolute kick in the nuts. That is basically, it was already not good, and now it's GG. All right, very nicely played by Maru. I was like, Rogue's build order wins. I mean, it deflects the Hellbats. I guess it's just that his not able to get across the map quick enough with that Roach counterattack. And yeah, that the Roaches beat the Hellbats, they don't beat the follow-up. GG, well played. Let's go to game 3, game 4. All right, going into game 4, guys. Rough game there for Rogue, top right. His opponent in the bottom left, Maru. Now, chat has pointed out that it's actually kind of standard to have a slight supply block on 44 with this build order that Rogue did last game, because the third base kicks in. So you only float a couple of lava there. He definitely, even after unlocking the supply, was slow to add the last 5 workers. So it was still a little sloppy from Rogue. But I think the bigger thing that we realized is probably he should have actually bounced back into drone production even during the fight. The moment he built those roaches, he knew he was going to shut it down. And I think there's even an argument behind him going back to injecting. Now that's a hard call to make. That would have been some true next level decision making. But if Rogue was like, look, it's more important for me to get back to droning here than anything else. If he could have made that decision quicker, he would have been in a really good spot, right? Rogue would have been, and he's scouting for proxy barracks right now, guys. Worried about Maru's proxy barracks marine rush. But yeah, I think if Rogue made that decision to drone the moment he started his roaches, and then was able to defend the Hellion drop, we would have seen a much closer game. But as it was, a little bit of a nasty one, of course. Maru playing a much more standard build order. Same as that last game, so nothing too wild here. Rogue going for a standard hatch gas pool, but does invest a little bit of minerals just to make sure he's a bit safer there. Marine first coming out for Maru. And a second Marine. So he's doing the double Marine again. All right. What are we going to do with these 2 Marines? Go Overlord hunting? This Overlord for Rogue, very conservative. So I doubt he floats his barracks all the way out there. He's going to go for that factory in just a moment. Goes down 205. Pretty crisp factory timing. Does cut a few seconds of SCV production there just to get that factory down slightly faster. And Rogue going to move out for that 28 third hatchery. So if we think about it, a 28 third hatchery on supply blocks, you ride at about, what, 330, 335 by the looks of it. Because it takes 71 seconds to build. So yeah, about 335. And 6 Zergling's going to come to pressure. He does float it all the way out there. You're kidding me. The barracks goes for that snipe on it. It always feels like a bit of a derpy opening. 6 Zerglings thinking about pressuring here. And once again, Rogue committing to 6 Zerglings pretty regularly. I feel like Rogue fears the Maru Reaper, almost like it's a Clem Reaper. I don't know if it's necessary, but in this case, that Hellion's still 10 seconds away. These Zerglings could find some damage. Oh, the SCVs are forced to be pulled here. The Zerglings going for it. Going for it. Can they get the Marines? A mule blocking our vision there. They ain't going to get squat. Nice body blocking. That's 6 Zerglings and an Overlord down here at the start of this game. Widow Mines and Marines building one at a time for Maru. No add-ons at all. Honestly, feels trash. I cannot handle not having add-ons. Not having reactors take so long to build, but they literally double your production on any of these buildings, man. He's going to do a Marine mine drop. It's going to be hitting pretty early in the game, so it's a cute little pressure. He's going to have almost nothing behind it, though. I think this is a bit of a reaction to those early Zerglings. Otherwise, I do think we would have seen a reactor come down, but For now, the reactor building on the factory. He's got that single Hellion as his one mobile scout. This is important because it'll spot roaches or zerglings flooding across the map. So just one Bernie car. Going to be a nice little addition. We've got 5 Marines and a Widow Mine. Just shy of a full dropship. We'll head across the map. Now, Maru is going to go for a 2-base push. 3 barracks going down before 3rd command center. A massive commitment. On the other side, though, Rogue. Already building 14 Zerglings. Should be enough to shut this push down. If he can go back to droning behind that, he'll be in a very good position. And he's even expecting... He knows exactly what build this is. Look at this. He's already got Queen's Creep. Now, this Overlord is going to be a bit of a snipey. Against this build, you do want to try and pull your Overlords to the dead space if you can. Because otherwise, they will go for that. Let's see. I think the Queens will be able to defend this Overlord. Oh, he gets a Marine kill. Not bad. And damages the medevac a fair bit. Well done. Rogue Zergling comes in. Ah! Hello, I'm cosplaying as a supply depot. Who said Hellions were a one-dimensional unit? Marines and Widow Mine there. The Widow Mine will take out that Overlord. No, it won't. Oh, he's going to try and click it. The Queens chase it off. Oh, damn, this is a shutdown, guys. Rogue back in clean form here in this game, going double Evo, mass drones on the way. He's looking good. He's in the driver's seat. And he's actually killing it. Maru, though, he's got a 3-rax push coming in. So the thing is, guys, if I was Rogue, this is a tell. What do you mean this is a tell pick? What I mean is the fact that he has fully walled with depots means he doesn't have a 3rd command center. This is high-level knowledge, okay? If you... Almost any other build will build the command center in the wall. Almost every other build. So against this, you normally stop at 4 gases, 55, maybe 58 drones, 60 drones maybe. Say 60 drones. Let's say 60 drones. Basically, you just skip the 2 gases, make nothing but Lingbane. If you can secure a 4th, a macro hatch, that's good. But if you just mass Lingbane Queen off this, there's no way you lose. You've got double upgrades. Look at this little cuck harassment here. Seriously. Oh my god. Rogue should feel bad even engaging this. This is like going to warfare against a guy who's got a cricket bat and you've got a fucking army of actual legit modern soldiers in a fucking modern first-class military. This is like an angry dude with a cricket bat. This is the worst little pressure I've ever seen. He's like, 4 Marines, 1 Hellion. Now Rogue sees, okay, here it comes. And guys, he stopped at the perfect drone count. He's on Mass Bane. He should be crushing this, but he skipped the Baneling Nest. His Baneling Nest is incredibly late. That is a mistake for sure. Also, I would say Lair and Bane Speed are the more important upgrades. Now, as Rogue, you need to cut off the Reinforce 100%. So we should definitely have a Zergling spotted to see if reinforcements move out. In the meantime, though, he's got so many Zerglings, I think he can swamp this push. What do I mean? Queens engage first, Lings flank, go, go, go. He could engage this right now. He's a little cowardly there. Of course, he doesn't realize combat shields and +1 isn't done. He's going to go for it, though. There we go! Widow Mine gets a killer shot. Oh, that's bad for Rogue. That Widow Mine got an amazing shot. Does it matter? Saves the tank. The tanks are so sacred for Maru right now, and he does save one of them. I think he'll put it down here. Yeah, I'm going to say, in this scenario, you're going to put that tank in a much more conservative placement. But the Wall of Queens is solid. I'd like to see Rogue take this hatchery on the right side. He also, like I said, you want to cut off the reinforcement as well, but he didn't quite get the crushing engagement on this first push that he wanted. And that makes things much harder for Rogue. He starts +2 carapace, the more important of the 2 upgrades. If he can get to 2-2, that would be huge. He's already up 1 upgrade. Transfuses will need to go down on that hatchery, and these Queens, the Wall of Queens, the Ling Bane coming in. He wants the Marines to go down to the Banes, the Lings to get on the tanks, but dude, oh my god! The Marines! Oh my god, the Queens is not enough damage, bro. That's not, ow, wow, 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 wow. The mass Queen for Rogue, and I gotta say, he doesn't have a macro hatch, he loses his 4th. He actually can't produce enough Ling Bane. He needs an extra hatchery right now. Ooh, this is always the problem with the Ling Bane, is can you actually spend it? He's tried to spend his minerals on Queens to make up for it, but that lack of Bane speed just makes these engagements so much harder. I always think Bane speed is the more important than the 1-1 here. Of course, Rogue, I think, was already committed down his double Evo line by the time he realized what he was up against. But Bane speed's going to kick in. The problem is that Maru has traded like a boss. 2-to-1 cost efficiency. He's got his own 3rd, fully saturated. He's turning it into a macro transition. He did a big 2-base push, but now look at that. He's going to be annoying, abusing the ledge. Big Ling run by, finally going to go across this map, and not a moment too soon, man. The problem, of course, for Rogue is that it's already been spotted. And Widowmine's going to fire. Queens, of course, can tank that down. Sporkroll on the high ground, going to look good. But, uh-oh, Medivacs! Pick up the drilly boys. Only loses a single one. Watch out. Winner, winner, winner. Chicken, Zergling, dinner. Oh, fuck me. Ow, 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 wow, 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 wow. Maru is way in the lead now. Oh, man. Dude, guys, I got to talk about how frustrating it is to be Rogue right now, because you responded in what you thought was the perfect way, but yeah, I think he needed a Zergling flank, honestly. With this push path, he needed to have his Zergling split or something in the first engage, right? If he got a surround on that Marine army, it would have been a very different battle, and maybe if he just had a few more Zerglings. The Queen count, I think, was too high. I really feel more Lings and Banes and positioning is better than Mass Queen in this scenario. I think 7-8 Queens is good. It's nice as support, but if you go Mass Queens, you give the Terran all the mobility and you kind of rely on him attacking into that wall of Queens in a bad angle. Banelings! Oh, he takes a couple of big Banes to the face there. Meanwhile, the Ling Bane rolling in. The game's about to fucking hit the fan, guys. Shit is hitting the fan. Ling Bane in on all sides. Marines on there. Queen's fighting those guys on the left. I think Rogue will defend his base. Banelings! He clicked on the command center! Rogue! He just shot the bed. He let all those SCVs escape. Rogue! He meant to click in the mineral line. He meant to move command them in the mineral line and let them auto-target on SCVs and whatever was nearby. He just missed out on killing 20 more SCVs. This should have been game over. This should have been game over. Rogue holds the push. He holds his 3 base. His 4th is rebuilding. He's in a great position right now. He's cleaning up the Widow Mines. He's got to watch out. That one on the left's going to clear a bunch of workers. Ow! 7 drones goes down. Very nicely done. Maru dropping on the left. He's got Liberators going down the right. He's going to try and harass frantically, rebuilding his economy. His 4th command center is still building. If he was on 20 workers right now, he'd be dead. Oh, he loses a medevac with some units in it. Bunch of Marines do get left behind. He goes back and saves them. What a Chad. Maru with fantastic micro. Liberators coming in from both sides, though. He's doing the Vindicta. I always talk about it. This is an unfair maneuver. You only do this if you're a try-hard cuck. This is the equivalent. What, are you going to make Rogue multitask? It's like pushing an old man down the stairs. We know you're the better mechanical player. Don't make him defend Liberators in multiple bases. That's cheating! Oh! Ooh, Rogue takes a few Widow Mines. Pretty good spready. Queens will defend this base, but not before he's lost another 6 drones there. That economy advantage seems to be disappearing very quickly. Marines coming in on the right. Banelings! Banelings, get them! The burrowed Banelings! Get rid of most of those Marines. Nice play there. The Liberator's back for more. The Queen's are like, oh, can you fuck off, please? This Liberator rotating in the natural. Maru abusing Rogue with these Liberators. Dude, that's fucking deadly. The Liberator on the 3rd goes back to the 3rd from the natural. He's like, come over here. Now I'm over here. Rogue's economy is getting slaughtered. He's lost 20 drones. So much mining time. And we see that income tab dipping back in Maru's favor despite having it get smashed before. By the way, guys, can't raise his depot. There's burrowed Zerglings on it. 4th command center does land on the right. We've got 4 bases for Maru. He somehow finds the cash for 3-3, even though he can't afford to build more than 1 SCV at a time right now. Maru seems to be going kind of... It's like he's got a 4th and he's going 3-3, which are investment in the later game, but he's not building SCV. So he's kind of committed to just unit production. There we go. Finally, some SCVs start up. Still looking for more damage right now. Widow Mines get in. Hydras do kill one of them. Another one does burrow, but only 2 kills. Mass Zergling getting in just before the planetary is finished. Can he kill it? If he clicks the planetary, that would be amazing. I don't think that planetary gets up. Oh, 15 workers! Oh, just when Maru was back in a friggin' amazing position economically. I think it's time to leave, Rogue. Time to leave, buddy. Get out of there. Ivan Lurkaden, start up. He's going to start transitioning to the next stage. Got to watch out for these Widow Mines on the map. No. Oh, good spreadies, good spreadies. Okay, Rogue desperately needs to get a few more hatcheries up. If he wants to play this Lurker game, more hatcheries, more workers. Oh no, Banelings. Don't want to be wasting Banelings on these wherever possible. 3 Banelings to a Widow Mine is a bad trade. It's worth it in a battle if you're going to stop the Widow Mine from firing. Not worth it if you're just cleaning them up around the map, right? It's worth it to remove a Widow Mine fire from the army in a big fight, but otherwise no. Lings are going to find this push out. Rogue gets a Widow Mine. Doesn't get a Widow Mine. Zergling's going to pull back on the left. Boomy! 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 Boom! 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 Rogue! Oh, Maru's got to be pissed off at that one. I'm amazed. I was looking at earlier in this series and a previous series I was casting, and it felt like Maru was the one who's always ahead in the multitasking and Rogue's out in the strategy. Well, this time somehow Rogue is finding the awareness to get amazing Ling run bys in on the tanks, on the rallies. That tank on the high ground might be the saving grace. He's going to get in that mineral line as well. The tanks are going to do pretty savage friendly fire to the SCVs there as the Zerglings doing what they can. He's going to burrow them all in different bases as well. Good SCV pool. Like I said, that tank on the high ground really was the saving grace of Maru. But you need to rebuild your hatches. As well as Rogue is doing, you got to remember you're dealing with a Terran who's about to hit 3-3, who's on 4 base. You do need to get another base up because Rogue's mineral patches are mining out. He's not going to have anywhere to mine from. So we've got to look at this and say, okay, Rogue, you're ahead in the macro game. You're unburrowing, killing even more here. You've killed 61 SCVs this game to 21 drones. You're forcing scans. That's bloody awesome. These guys are still stopping that from raising. Overlord on the left does get sniped down. Finally, another hatch goes down, but Rogue needs to take the left side as well, and he's got to respread his creep. Now, Rogue lost a lot of his queens earlier in this game, and he has not respread too much creep. On the right, yes. On the left, yes. In the middle and the top left, no. He has not been spreading the creep there. So trying to kind of get back in a stable, calm position where he's like touching all those little macro pointers is important because Maru is going to keep pressuring him. Maru's going to keep trying to macro up. Another Zergling comes on in there apparently. Big lurker attack getting ready. He's got seismic spines, guys. He does not have the other thing though. Marines on the low ground. Maru always microing, always being a bit of a cheeky dickhead. He could even drop on the high ground there. Lurkers are going to bust through here. Ooh, yeah, that's a good cleanup. Breaks the wall. 500 minerals worth of depots. It's the same in terms of mineral cost of killing 10 Marines, of course. Not bad. Lurker just forcing him around. This is well worth investing single lurkers in, especially if you as Rogue, like I said, could get another couple bases up and spread your creep behind us. Because you're constricting Maru, you're giving him very little space, but you're not really doing killing blows. And the problem I see here is that Rogue's worker and base count and his creep spread map control, it's advancing kind of slowly. He looks like he wants to kill him right now. Oh, chicken dinner. Oh my god, Maru's going to engage on the lurkers, but there's so much Ling Bane. The Ling Bane needs to pull back. Pull back. You've got to fight with the lurkers, but Maru keeps going in and then dodging the spines. The Ling Bane went way too far forward. Rogue is not engaging this correctly. He needed to pull further back. Nonetheless, a wild fight. He's just inching those Marines and Marauders to all sides, and he barely has. I still can't believe he forced his way into this choke point. Pulled back. He dodged so many spines. He baited the Ling Bane away from the lurkers. And guys, I gotta say, Rogue made a huge mistake there. Rogue tried to force the issue and win the game, and he had the better army. Maru had nothing to deal with double upgraded lurkers with 2-2. He had nothing to deal with that. No tanks, no ghosts, no libs. Rogue went for the perfect timing, but he let his Ling Bane run, first of all, into Widow Mines at the start of the fight, and then in the second phase, he ran his Ling Bane way in front of the lurkers. And Maru, I mean, you got to give credit where it's due. He pulled back and baited him out of range of the lurkers 3 times in a row. Went in, went out, went in, went out. And you know what, guys? You know what they say, when in doubt, pull out. Well, Maru did that, but then he went straight back in. Then he pulled out again. I got to say, I don't know much about Maru's background and his beliefs, but I have a feeling he just might be Catholic. The way he's been microing this game, it's just, you can tell. Practice makes perfect. In that case, yeah, mass transfuse, he pulls on back. He pulls on back. There we go, the lurker there. The one lurker with mass transfuse trying to hold on. We've got Biomine moving around the right side over here as well. Oh, Widow Mine does get a pretty good hit, but I think it might just be enough to break through. The medevacs are getting kind of low. There's still a big wave of Marine Marauder. Remember the double upgrade advantage, 3-3 versus 2-2. That being said, +3 Carapace did kick in. Rogue holds for a moment, but he needs an Overseer down here. Stat, that Widow Mine will keep firing. And remember, Maru does not have the greatest long-term position, but that base is mining. He's pushing, he's trying to break him. This base is still reasonably fresh. I really feel even just a small Zergling run by on this base would be huge right now. But if Maru's able to dictate and keep pushing him back like this, it gets scary. Mass transfuse on the lurker keeps him up again, but he's so good at pulling back and engaging the Ling Bane on its own. The lurkers, it feels like they hold ground, but only for a moment. And Maru just steps back and baits him into some very terrible situations. Maru's still looking for the kill though. He needs to keep trading. or he's going to run out of steam because his income is just not that high. He's trying to lift out his main behind this. He's going to get a nice spready of bio there. The Banelings coming on in. I just don't know if Ling Bane is efficient enough. That being said, the Queen's just killed a bunch of medevacs. Lurker's got some good shots off. Overlord taking a dump on that base is going to deny it. It's not quite centered, so it's not going to deny it for very long. Or not at all even. Okay, it was an ornamental. This was taking a shit on the lawn rather than in your friend's bedroom. And we've got an Overlord there ready to Nidus Worm, but it's not going to work, guys. Nidus Worm ain't going to do nothing this game. Still got those Zerglings available, but the one commanded tank, of course, that is Sergeant Chadhammer himself on the high ground, as always, defending multiple bases from those Linglong run-bys. Widowmine there, it looks like it just killed a ton of Zerglings. Lurkers get some good shots off, finally. Some of the first ones in this game since Maru's been so good at evading them. Oh, fudgety shitballs. Oh my god, these Widowmines. A thing of nightmares right now. Maru very, very methodically turning this map into a field full of rakes. Rogue stepping onto them and each one flipping up and hitting him in the face. He pops a Nidus Worm. Vikings, Marines, Marauders. Maru never gets surprised by that maneuver anymore. He has been caught by it too many times. This, though... Oh, the medevacs for the save. He only loses 6 SCVs. Could have been a lot worse there. Rogue's trying to take the top left, but he still has not cleared these Widow Mines. And remember that Rogue... Honestly, his late game has looked uninspired. One of the best mid-game players out there. Great build orders, great ways of getting ahead. But he has been diddled left, right, and center by Maru in the next qualifiers in the weeks leading up to this in the late game. If it gets to the late game, he's very inefficient with his Lurkers versus Ghosts. Now, we're not at Ghosts, so I think he's still got a good shot. But if the game goes too much longer and Maru can find his way to a Ghost transition, that's where I'm very worried, because we've seen it in his ZVZ as well. Rogue has been outplayed by Dark, Maru, a few of the best guys out there in the late game. See if that happens again. Lings get cleaned up on that side. Lurkers just forcing those SCVs off mining there. But they are going to be dead now, and this is a problem that Rogue has, is he does these little Lurker thrusts in isolation. Yeah, he threw a Nidus up, but the Nidus was shut down, right? He's not... He throws away a lot of Lurkers in these run-bys, and if his main army was pushing at the same time and killing this left base, I'd be down with that. But as it is, that's half your Lurkers just thrown into the meat grinder. That's giving Maru even more of these fantastic trades. You got to be very, very careful. Oh, we got Bio there. Okay, we've got Ling Bane trying to get us around. It's just not quite enough Zerglings. It's not quite enough Zerglings for that many medevacs. If he had like 30 more Zerglings, maybe. But I think Rogue's in trubs right now. Because, you know what? This is so much of his army. He's got Lurkers on the right. Is Maru a Chad enough to try and take that fight? Maru's the kind of guy who'd like drop Marauders here to lure the Lurker shots and then just stim on the front and kill them all while Rogue's not looking. And I think he might think about doing it. We'll see what happens. He's going to drop that top left base. Caught way out of position right now is Rogue. One Hydra, a couple Lurkers get up there. Doesn't land the big hits that he needs. A Viper for Parasitic Bomb would be very useful right about now. Nidus Worm does manage to pop up on the left side of the map using that Changeling. Another Nidus in the main base. That one will not get up. Vikings, of course, can land on that. And Ghosts popping out as well. Nidus Worm on the right side goes down. Nidus in the main goes down as well. Blah, 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 blah. Economy sucks for Rogue at this point. And as we said earlier, if he wasn't able to respread control and dominance with the creep spread, it was going to be hard. Maru has been excelling in this kind of medium economy, low economy, scrappy situation. He's now making the budget Ghost transition. That's right. It's I call it budget because he doesn't have many scans. He doesn't have many orbitals, guys. This is his main base. This base is mined out. This base is almost mined out. He's like, 6 ghosts? Can I get 6 ghosts, please? That's about all he can fucking afford. One Pervertling does see the move out. Lovely spotting there from Rogue. Popping out another Nidus Worm. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a high ground spotter there. So he's going to be pulling back, trying to gather. One big fight is going to decide this game. Lurker Bane coming in on both sides. The Ghosts do get some snipes. Lings run a little bit too far forward, though. You got to be careful. Careful, mate, as that Overseer just gets sniped out of the sky. Lurker, Ling Bane here trying to do their best. I'd love to see this Lurker just run on the high ground. It's going to do it. He's going to go. He's going to go in there. Can he get the big damage? It doesn't look like there's much distracting Maru. How quickly will he respond? As obviously he's just clearing creep on the front right now. He does siege up at the same time. Rogue tries to jump on him while he's distracted. Great idea. Does not find the money. It's making more Lurkers, more Lings, more Banes right now. Big army coming back. That Lurker will, of course, get cleaned up. just clicking the command center there by the looks of it. SCV's going back to mine. I think, honestly, Rogue can play this out on this low economy, but he's just got to keep securing bases. This will be the next one. Get some more creep spread, and it's all about how the next fight goes. So the problem is, if Rogue feels like he just needs to thrust, what often happens, he just shoves his army into the middle ground, and then he just loses momentum so quickly. He kind of runs into Widow Mines, freaks out, burrows his lurkers, and then you just see Maru snipe him from afar. And that's what I'm worried might happen here. Now, hold fire? They're all on hold fire! It's the gamble gam! He's been working burrowed banelings this whole game, guys. He's got 2 good burrowed banes off. At this point, Rogue's like, fuck it. We're not going for the consistent way to win here. We're going for the high risk, high reward. I'm going to put every lurker in the middle of the map on hold fire. And when you walk over my army, I'm going to turn that off and just spike your army to death. Oh. Army catches him on the right. Planetary does go up in that bottom right side. That's a very important base. A lot of Lings will look to intercept this bio. They don't have any medevacs. They will be on a one-way trip to Dicktown by the looks of it. Zerglings will get a nice little surround there. Except not. They actually get back. Oh, and they stop just outside of the Ibex cannon range. But nice little trade-off. Picking off some bio. The ghost count grows, though. And Rogue, he's like, shit, I guess I need to drone? He's like, do I drone? Is that what I do, guys? Duh! Rogue's like, oh, fuck off, bro. That's not cool, man. Maru's like, not taking any chances with this one, mate. Having to build turrets over. Rogue's still trying to get the spotters in the main. It's not been working out. Lurker comes in for harassment. In of itself, these are bad trades for Rogue, guys. So what I feel Rogue lacks in the late game and the Lurker stage is, I think, a sense of syncing together and linking up actions. And it's so weird for me to be saying this because obviously he's playing Maru. Maru makes it hard to do these things. Rogue probably does that perfectly versus lesser players. But he's kind of like, here's a Nidus Worm! And like, not much else is happening. Here's a Lurker! And not much else is happening. But then, and then when he does a frontal push, it's never paired up with those moves. It's just like, here's all my Lurkers. You have one thing to deal with right now. I think he needs to do a little bit more to overload Maru, put the pressure on him, make him multitask, force mistakes, and just make it impossible for him to have such a perfect and clinical response to every move Rogue does. Once again, what does this Lurker do? It comes in, and it forces a scan. It's a great trade for Maru. Maru's happy to trade scans for Lurkers all day. So now he does come in with a push on the left. He's trying to sync things together. He's got some Lings in the middle that just get absolutely rolled. But what is this push? Okay, so it's a Ling Bane run by. He gets a few SCVs, but that's not a good trade. Where are all of his Lurkers? Does anyone know? Where? What? Okay, he has 14 Lurkers sitting on the top right base right now. But I feel like, you know, why weren't they shoving down here with some other units at the same time if you're just doing a small Ling Bane? It's one thing at a time for Rogue, and I think it's just Maru's defense is so good that he's afraid to just click units in because they'll die. But at a certain point, you got to throw caution to the wind, don't you? He's getting to the Iron Bank. Maru's securing extra planetaries. He's going to make extra orbitals here. And I don't know if Rogue can go toe-to-toe at that stage. In fact, I severely doubt he can. Because Rogue gets very inefficient. Rogue likes to kind of throw things at his opponent and see what sticks. He loves to do very clever openings and then overwhelm his opponent in the mid-game. In a slow, patient game like this, where there's no clear, straight-up strategic play, it's a grind fest. And Maru, guys, Maru actually studied under the fucking Karate Kid guy. He can wax on, wax off all day. You give him a piece of sandpaper, Rogue's there throwing big punches trying to knock him out. Maru is literally just sandpapering him. Rogue's like, that barely even hurts. He says that at the start of the game. You get 45 minutes in, Rogue's fucking bleeding from the sandpaper. You get a few days in, Maru's not even tired. And he's like, hey, you notice how I have the sickest units lost tab of all time, and you're there gasping for air and shit? He's like, I'm just gonna sandpaper you down with my fucking ghosts. That's all I plan to do in this game, and I know it's gonna work, because it always does, because I'm the god of sandpapering down my opponents in the late game. I'm just gonna grind you down little by little. Oh, getting some SCV kills. Okay, Rogue does get something. I want Rogue to show me why I should believe. Oh no, he's getting popped. He's getting popped. Oh god. Oh, this is where you need an Infestor or two or a pack of Ling Bane. Hydra's does not cut it. Hydra's just definitely not cut it, guys. Oh, this is nasty. And look, he can even snipe drones from the low. This is what I'm talking about. It's not even sandpaper. At this point, he's literally pulled out the disc sander and he's holding it onto Rogue's face. Once he gets this many ghosts, it becomes a little bit quicker than just a single hand-powered little piece of sandpaper buffing and polishing things off. This is straight up Maru grinding his opponent to dust. Rogue is going to max out on Hydraling Bane, and that tells us one thing, guys. Rogue he knows he's getting cornered. That nuke especially, I think we're only a moment away from Rogue getting mad. Oh, did he just attack his own changeling? I think he attacked his own changeling. Maybe the spore was in detection range, but I have a hunch it wasn't. And then he attacked his own changeling to kill the ghost that was behind the changeling. I may be attributing things which didn't actually happen, but we can potentially check the game later. Lingbane, Lurker, Planetary. Planetary goes down here. It's a nice move, but EMP. Those Vipers sent back to Zero Energy Town. Ghosts come forward. They don't have a lot of support right now. Rogue's going to jump on top, but he's chasing into a funnel, and this is very dangerous. Is this going to work out? It might work out, Rogue, but no, the funnel. Oh god, and that cork is bloody stiff. Maru's one Hodor Marauder up there holds the door, and yeah, he loses some SCVs, which I guess is kind of damaging right now. His economy's kind of low, but he's got so many orbitals still up. The Zerglings will try to split behind that. Still keeps the bases up, and I think that's the most important thing for Maru. As long as he can slowly secure another base, I think he can rebuild this army. Units lost tab. There was a lot of Banelings that went down there. Banelings are single-use units, guys. I know Rogue's an old-fashioned guy who thinks single-use plastic's the greatest thing to ever come to this world. It's so fantastic and cheap, but Maru being a little bit more renewable. He's investing in those renewable resources, those medevacs, the ghosts, these energy-based units, healing and fighting and slowly picking away at things over time. Lings on the left side come in, gonna grab a few ghosts, which is not bad, but of course Rogue has given up this base on the right. He's still trailing in some units. If he pops his lurkers out, he could snipe that one. Ghost's gonna pick off a lot of those Zerglings. And there's nothing in the Nidus Worm. It's that, oh, I didn't think that would get up. Distraction! Behold me in all my toothy, tonguey glory. Look at my tongue wiggle in between my teeth, and behold, feel fear deep within you. Maru, of course, dealing with that quite easily there. Zergling, Hydra, Bane coming on forwards, trying to get overwhelmed. They're getting stuck on that corner. Pull back. Rogue, get out of there. Rogue, it's a disaster, mate. Don't go in there. His army separated. That was the worst possible attack. He got an orbital, but it was an absolute fucking disaster, mate. When you attack around a corner, I always talk about this, guys, you cannot attack around a corner. Your units will get stuck on each other. They will get stuck behind each other. They will take forever to get down. This might look like a big choke point, but if you're trying to go from here and then out to the left over here, it's the same as going through almost single file. It's a disaster. Disaster waiting to happen. Rogue took the fight because he knows the longer this goes, the more disadvantaged he is, unless he's willing to play Broodlord Infestor with the skill of Solar, the best Broodlord Infestor player in the world, who always wins games with it and has an unfortunate habit of then getting his whole army nuked. If you're not as good as Solar with Broodlord Infestor, you don't want to go there, and I think a lot of players just never practice that because they win with the Lurkerling Bane. It's the same problem Raynor had at Katowice against Maru. He was like, well, I was way ahead in those games, but then he made lots of tanks and Liberators and Ghosts. And normally I just win with 2 Nidus Worms or Lurkers, but I couldn't do it and I didn't know what to do. So I tried to make Broodlords, but I hadn't played Broodlords in 6 months, so I forgot how to use Broodlords. And Maru was like, yeah, you better know how to play some technical late game if you want to beat me. Now, Raynor ended up winning that by just killing him with Mutiling Bane in the mid game. That was his solution to the problem. But right now, Rogue is stuck in that same late game conundrum. And much like Raynor in the World Championship semifinals, is running into the rock-solid wall that is Maru. I mean, there's so many points where he looks like he's not that in control. And you get him in the Supreme late game and you go, hello? How do you like this unit's lost tab, Mr. Zerg player? And Rogue says not very much. Eat a dick. Maru takes the 3-1 lead. Alright, let's go. It's map number 5 in the bottom left. It's Maru, 1 game away from sealing the DreamHack Winter Championship and saying, oh, I'm sorry, everybody. Pig? Hey, Pig! English commentator Pig. And I'm like, oh, what? What is it, Maru? What's that about I don't show up at online tournaments? What's that about I only do well in GSL, Pig? I'm like, well, you still need to win against Rogue here. It's not over yet, Maru, but, you know, I guess you do get some points. What about Asus Rogue Pig? What about Asus? Yeah? What do they do there? I guess technically you won it. It was a pretty good win there as well. Yeah. Who's won like 5 GSLs, Pig? Okay. All right. You got me there. If I win this tournament, you can finally say I'm the fucking GOAT and stop saying Serral and Rogue are better than me, you fucking idiot. Okay, Maru, that's a little aggressive. You need to calm down, buddy, all right? I never was hating on you. I was just hating on the fanboys who were like, he won GSL and lost 7 other tournaments, but we're going to claim Serral is the one who needs to beat good players on LAN to truly be considered the GOAT and as good as him. I'm like, what are you talking about? Maru, I've always said you're one of the greatest of all time. You're a god of the game. Your run in GSL was amazing. It's just that there's certain fanboys within StarCraft who are so bloody excited for Korean players and how skillful they are. They somehow think that in 2021, StarCraft 2 players compared to the foreign scene is the same gap between Brood War, Korea, and Brood War foreigners. And it's just not the case. It couldn't be further from it. The top dogs are so even these days, right? Raynor, Maru, Rogue, Serral, Clem, fucking Trap. These guys are all so evenly matched, right? We've got that very top echelon of players. It's so even between them all. It's fantastically close. And yet there's still, every time you're like, yo, check it out. Maru beat Serral. Maru's the best player in the world right now. Cool. And usually, I find people are okay with it. There's still Serral fanboys like, no, Serral's the best. Obviously, don't get me wrong, there's annoying fanboys there too. But then you see Serral beat Maru or Raynor beat Maru, and they're like, it was online. It doesn't count. Online's harder for Terran. And that's just one of the excuses. There's like 1,000. The number of excuses these fanboys make for their player, I love it. You guys are like, well, it doesn't know because well, Zerg is overpowered because of the like there's always an excuse. Like, I can't wait till Clem finally gets really sick at TvT and beats Maru in a series. I want to hear what these Korean fanboys have to say then, because like Maru is clearly a way better player than Clem right now. There's no disputing that. But like the moment Clem like levels up his TvT and starts beating him in straight up matches, the excuses they're gonna have to dig for is gonna be fucking amazing. And I'm not saying he's ever gonna dominate Maru, but like it's inevitable. Clem's good enough. He'll beat him at some point, right? And there will still be so many excuses. No, because doesn't count. Let's be real though. Right now, guys, Maru already is the best form in the world right now. If he wins this tournament, if he can get this one more map versus Rogue, he's on such a hot streak. Such a hot streak. Like, Maru is monster moding. And of course, we've still got the King of Battles finals to cast as well. We've still got to cast all that tournament and see how Maru does over there, which we'll be updating you guys on soon. So many big tournaments. TSL's around the corner. If Maru can win this, win King of Battles, win TSL, then I basically become I'm just going to be like, okay, like most fucked up, ridiculous streak in an age where everyone's so good. If Maru could do that, I'm getting on the GOAT bandwagon. I'm like, step aside other people who I've claimed might be the GOAT. I'm going to say that Maru is head and shoulders above you because I don't give a fuck if it's online mostly. I don't give a shit. The fact that he's competing at such a level and beating these guys, hell, some of you fanboys probably say it's even better. Anyway, guys, he blocked the third. He's got the Hellbat timing. It's 420. Light him up. He's got to get the eBay in the wall, though, or micro these Hellions very well. Because those Zerglings... Oh, he's bringing the Zerglings back. He's only got 6 queens, but look at that. A beautiful arc of queens. It says, welcome to my queen party. He's got to pull back these queens. Oh, look at that. The Zerglings threaten, forcing the Hellbats to clump up. But that queen on the right does not pull back. It doesn't transfuse. Rogue, where's the transfuse, buddy? Transfuse, you got energy. Okay, there we go. He's got it. He's got it. Good hold. Very good hold by Rogue. That was really well done. Shuts it down. But good save. Gets 3 Marines and a Hellbat out. I do think a Lingranbai might have had big potential there. Now, there's always a Banshee behind this. Exact same build from Berlingrad here, guys. I hope you enjoyed our rant. We are listening to the Age of Empires 2 soundtrack while casting Rogue vs. Maru. Rogue gets a little bit of leeway there. Oh, was about to say, you know what would be a really Chad move is if he cancels stim and goes mech, just because Blackburn is super sick for mech. Very hard for Zerg to flank you and get those engagements on this map. Marine drop cleaning up the Overlord there. What do we got? Lair almost finished. Now, is he going to drop 2 more gases is the question we have. I don't think so. I think we're going to see Lurker style again from Rogue, but I don't really like it. I don't know, man. I kind of makes sense on this map, but maybe Hydras? I haven't really seen any Hydra play from him so far. Hydra play has been all the rage recently, but we haven't seen too much of it from Rogue. Of course, we do love to get people excited and egged on a bit. Oh, he does go 6 gases Spire. Mutiling Bane on Blackburn. What a peculiar decision. Now, it is kind of hard to get back in your main to defend, but at the same time, the slow zones make rotating kind of awkward. Spore Crawler moving over to create a little bit of safety for those guys, but oh, that Queen's gonna barely survive. A few drones go down, but the Banshees take a bruising. Cruising for a bruising. Get out of here, Maru! Maru loses a Banshee there. Very good. Now, he does spot the Spire. Good for Maru that he sees that, but so far, Maru has done diddly squat in this game. Now, diddly squat, for those who are wondering if you want more of a mathematical number, this here, you can see here, Rogue has taken just over an elite of damage, whereas Maru himself has lost some units. But what is more important than the units lost is how slow his third was, and how little he actually slowed down the economy of Rogue. Rogue has a gold base going up untouched. He's got a big Ling pressure coming in. Going to force those SCVs off the third. And he's just up a lot in workers. He's got the Spire in the way. Now, interestingly, he's only going single Evo chamber, which I think is a mistake. Oh! Rogue goes for a surround on the Marines. A crazy dive. Queen's defending the Hellbats. These Hellbats have not been able to find anything this game. These Marines stimming back and forth, running around, trying to defend this base. Second Evo chamber does go down at that third base. 9 meters on the way, as well as Bane speed. This unit's going to pull on back Rogue. Now, I always talk about this gold base being a bit of a trap. He should at least break these rocks down. He's got a lot of Zerglings. He should be breaking all of the rocks down on the map at this point where he's got map control. This is one of the few chances you'll have to actually break them down. Rogue not really preparing for the later stages of this game in that regard. He is, of course, macroing fantastically, though, as a lot of drones now just rallying out of these bases towards that gold base. His first mute is heading towards the main. Combat shield's looking like it's a little exposed. Is he going to go for it? He is. No, he's not. He says, fuck it. It's probably just combat shields. It's not even that important. Let's kill some SCVs, man. SCVs is lasting damage, even if it's just a few of them. They're also very fragile, very exposed. Oh, nice pickoff. Gets him muted there for a Marine. Pulls back through the turret. Oh, doesn't quite get the SCV building the command center. Nicely done by Maru. 4th base saturating though. 5th base on the way. 2-2 has started for Maru. He's got his 2nd factory finishing on the tech lab. 4th command center on the way. Macro hatch going up to 6 hatcheries is Rogue, and he's still building that meter count. So remember, back on 2,000 atmospheres, he went very heavy on the Mutalisks. I think that might have been the previous series I cast. I'm casting 2 Maru vs Rogue series back to back. It's all blending into one in my absolute meat grinder of a brain. Apologies for that one, guys. People watching on YouTube are like, they didn't play on 2,000 atmospheres. Maybe they did. Maybe I've cast 2 games on it. I don't even know. There's good Zerg vs Terran happening. Guns! Guns! Banshee killed 5 drones. It then died. It paid the price. This here is a totally real Marine. His name is Billy Bob. Real Marine. He has like little bits of fucking creep spilling out of his boots. If you look at his eyes, they're a bit glazed over and stuff, but he's going to come out and hang out with the boys. Let's see how he goes. Does he blend in? It's like, oh, yeah. They're like, what the fuck? He just walks right up to one and just stands next to them and starts nodding. He starts laughing. Like, one of them is like, hey, how you doing? And he's like, ha, 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 good joke. And they're like, just shoot him in the fucking face. And they, of course, do reveal his true changeling form. Marine's going to go for the Overlord there, pick it off. What? I did? What? Guys! What is this? He accidentally made 2 Corruptors. What's the bet? Rogue drags those over Widow Mines and drags them into Friendly Fire Marines. Speaking of which, holy shit, look at this defensive setup. Oh, have fun attacking into that, Rogue. I mean, Rogue is going Hive, which is cool, but dude, he better go. He's gonna go Lurkers again. I don't like it, dude. Broodlords. Broodlords! Especially on this map, it's really hard to do counterattacks and run around. I'd love to see Broods, man. I think Broods are a little underutilized in this matchup. Big Pack of Marines says no. Upgrade lead will dissipate.
Thanks for the Bezos box.
Maru doesn't really have any extra command centers either. He's gone up to the 8 barracks. 2 factory, Biomine Thor. He's going to start pushing. He wants to trade with the Lingbane Muta before Hive Tech kicks in for the Zerg. Before the Zerg army becomes not shit, as they say. Oh shit, Lingbane! Rolling in from all sides. He's trying to get out of there. The Thor gets picked up. He has to tuck his little legs up so the medevac can pick him up with its magnetic loader. The bio pulling back. It's a lot of Banelings attacking in a fucking column off creep. Rogue here going for an opportunistic dive. Now, what was the opportunity, you might ask? Trading with his fucking opponent. That there was an ugly engagement that it favored Maru, right? The problem is Rogue's too far ahead. So favoring Maru might not be enough. Because what Rogue can do is he can remax, go again with hopefully a less shit engagement, running that far off creep in a column. He really needed to group up a bit more. Because the Marines just stemmed too far back, right? He clumped up a little bit. But if he can deny a 5th base or use this now kind of lack of units on the Terran side, he could do it. Now there's 3 factories coming in. Maru, are you going Thors or tanks with it? I think he's going to go tanks. He's going to go heavy Thor here. Or heavy tank. I don't know. Maybe just tanks for Lurkers, but that's weird because Maru normally just plays ghosts. But maybe he's thinking tanks will be useful on such a contained map. As it is, Rogue's going to still look for these openings. He's going in Nidus Worm. He's still on Mutiling Bane. He's got some Hydras. He's thinking about Lurker Tech, but he's not there just yet. I've got to say, Rogue took a pretty shit fight before, and if he lets this go another few minutes without really capitalizing on the trade that happened, it just ends up being this good for Maru. So Rogue's taking the middle base, he's adding Lurkers, but I feel like Rogue is not really capitalizing on his advantage, and it's a map where it's hard to do so, but then why are we still on mass mutiling Bane? Yeah, there's some Lurkers coming in, but I don't know, man. He's gonna have to play it a lot better than he did on Hardwire. Still no Overseers with the Zergling run-bys. Definitely an issue, guys. I really feel you want to be always sending an Overseer up here. Whenever you're going for a big Ling run-by, clearing Widow Mines in itself is a good mission success. Okay, you can deny the mining on the gold. That'll be useful. Lurkers, of course, very useful there. But Seiju Tanku says no, 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 no. What can I say? Sometimes I like to commentate like it's a children's storybook, apparently, or something. I don't even know what not even a storybook. A demented cartoon. Australian Gumby? I don't fucking know. Anyways, snipes go down. Almost all the mutas are being cleared. I don't know if Rogue really cares about that at this point. He's going to try and Nidus the main. This tank needs to kill that. If that Nidus gets up with a lot of units, it could be good. Oh, shit! Maru! Not watching the Lurkers plus the Banelings kill every SCV and a bunch of the bio. Maru was too focused on the main there. He actually just took a really bad trade, and I mean, obviously Rogue's still way behind in the units lost, but it's good enough because Maru, remember, is way behind early on in this game. And oh, he snipes a bunch of the Lurkers, but that's so much Ling Bane. Maybe, just maybe, he can get on those ghosts. If he can get rid of those ghosts, that could be big. The Vikings fighting the Corruptors, the ghosts and the Banelings having a bit of a party. He's gonna go for the SCVs. Oh, boom, baby. Gets a lot of those down. Command centers both burning, but not quite killed. There's a Lurker there. And Maru doesn't have scan. He doesn't have a scan for that. Oh, he's getting his army. Oh, ow, ow. There we go. He realized that he's got to repair. He's got to repair. That one's repairing. This one's not repairing. Maru! Maru, no! How can you sleep while the command center's burning? That's me song. It's definitely my song. Maru thankfully fucking does repair it. But yeah, in the top, what do we got? Planetary, another one. Ghosts, +2 vehicle weapons. Can Maru stabilize? The answer is fuck no, he cannot, guys. He's about to get run over by Massling Bane. He's got Massling Bane Lurker coming in. Oh! 37 Zerglings! 37 Zerglings died, but the Lurkers are up there. Massling is literally just going to kill a planetary head-to-head because they are +2. Well, they don't even have +3 or Adrenal, but there's still just so many Zerglings that he does it. Oh man, that Widow Mine, holy crap. I mean, that Widow Mine absolutely creamed itself, I think. I think someone's going to need to change the lubricant valve in its little fucking legs or something, because it definitely had a good time, but it's just too much damage. Rogue's got too much stuff and he's overwhelming. I wouldn't say any of the engagements in the late game have impressed me for Rogue though, and none of this makes me think Rogue can beat Maru in the late game if it's even. Nothing he's doing here, because players, when they're this far ahead, should look like they're overwhelming. He's pairing things up a little bit better, right? He's attacking there and there at the same time, but he's still not attacking the south at the same time. So as much as he's finally linking actions together, I do still think Rogue's late game is lacking. Maru has looked like the better late game player. He did have one or two big mistakes, but it feels like the pizzazz of like maybe a Raynor or a Serral, especially with Serral's Hydraling Bane busts, have been amazing lately. They've been fantastic. It's very hard to say. Whoa, of course, Serral did take down Maru in the group stage with Hydraling Bane against Maru's late game play a few times. He was taking down Mass Ghost Tank Bio with Hydraling Bane. He showed us fantastic games in the group stage, but nonetheless, Serral did not make this grand finals, did he? Rogue eliminating him there. Rogue's the one who's managed to take his way to the grand finals. Lings are coming on in. I mean, this is a bit of a conclusion at this point. Just too much stuff. He's just picking at him in multiple angles. Rogue's definitely doing very well, but as I said, I'm a little worried for the late game, because it's taken him so long to finish off a crippled Maru. This is an old man Maru. This is a Maru. He's just down. He's got the ghosts up though. The ghosts give us hope. Oh my god, that's a lot of banelings. Oh, he's gonna lose that base for sure. He's gonna lose that base for sure. Still no adrenal glands, and +3 melee. Super delayed here. A couple of Zerglings burrowed. I think he wants to unburrow and break the ghost snipe. But we'll see if that one works out. The ghost's gonna come forward and kill some of that shit. Some of those burrowed Zerglings go down as well. Maru still trading like a boss. Now normally in these games it turns around at some point and evens out, but I don't think it will in this game. Yeah, Maru knows it. He's gonna have to try again in the next one. He's still got 2 chances to win the series. All right. This game could be ending here on a stripper's booty. He just needs one more game. That last one, the Hellbat timing did not work out. It was a textbook Queen spready that defended him. Great pullbacks by Rogue and so on. Maru's Hellbat timing not working out. He's going to have another shot at it, of course, playing here for his team. Team Envy. Rogue in the top right, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming. This is a very big map. It's a very big map. Now, I think here, it's a great map for run-bys, for movement. What's kind of funny is I feel like so far in this map, I've seen a lot of the Terrans just getting momentum and really being the one with their drops to like just be bouncing around, but I really feel there's massive potential for lurker pushes, lurker harassment, Ling Bane run-bys, and all that sort of stuff. And hell, I mean, Rogue's shown a big preponderance for Mutalisk play. I can't imagine that Mutas are bad on this map. I mean, there's good bits of dead space behind the back to hide in. You've got so much room across the map, so much space that you can work with. I feel like Mutas can't be bad on this map. But of course, we'll have to see exactly how it goes. Drone having a bit of a dance around. We've got an SCV on the way. Barracks there about to finish up. Gas first. Guys, Maru, it's a best of 7. Maru didn't prepare for a best of 7. He prepared only for best of 3s. I'm not even joking right now, guys. He's already recycled the Hellbat 420 light 'em up build that he used on Berlingrad. He used that for the second time. Now he's recycling his gas first build order. Oh no. Maru! He's only got so many openings. He's got to use the same opening. The people in the chat can tell me if that was the previous series or this one, actually. I don't even know. Like I said, casting a Maru Rogue series, I was like, we'll cast the one and then the other to see how it evolved over the week or two in between. For you watching on YouTube, you're just like, what are you talking about? But if you're watching on Twitch, you're like, oh yeah. Well, it turns out maybe there's such a thing as too much Maru versus Rogue. It becomes a bit of a conundrum. It all blends into one in my meat grinder of a brain. Now, guys, once again, 6 Zerglings on a giant map and against a gas first. Not great here for Rogue, in my opinion. But we'll see how he defends, of course, against the 2 Hellion follow-up, which is always the scary thing. The 4 Hellion dive also hits very early. And I think even though Link Speed's usually done at that time, it should usually hit before they build any extra Zerglings, so it could be very effective. Nice defense from Rogue here. He's got that third up at a bit more of a standard timing. He's not going for the very quick hatch this time. None of that 28 hatchery business. So you'll notice these two aliens started at about 247. So darned early, man. Just breaking down his little unbuildable plate there. And do we dive with 2 or 4? Usually going for one or the other, but you could also see a fusion core go down. Because of the tech lab. I mean, you could just play Hellion Banshee, right? But if you don't dive with 4 Hellions, I always kind of question. I'm like, why? He's obviously got a quick starport. He's going to go straight Banshee. He's got just enough gas for Cloak there. 4 Hellions are out. They're going to join up with the Reaper. It's go time. And guess what? The Overlord's out on the left. He doesn't see him leave. Oh, this could be nasty, man. Oh, this could be huge. Okay, so this is a very quick 4 Hellion dive. He's going to hit before the 4-minute mark. Rogue is in position. He's got to block with this Queen. Oh, he could have been landing more hits there for sure. Oh, Queen on the ramp. Queen on the ramp. Those 2 drones are going to fight. Great positioning. Great spready by Rogue. Be careful, though. Some of the boys are clumped. Some of the boys are a little clumped. 5 drones, I think, is acceptable. Loses all 4 Hellions, so I think that's fine for Rogue. He does build a few extra Zerglings, though. Just a little bit of a bummer. There's almost nothing at home for Maru right now. Remember, Maru's 3rd command center gets quite delayed with this build order. Well, when I say quite, I mean 10 seconds, apparently. Never mind. Maru cut a lot of Hellion production behind those first 4 guys. That's why he's able to afford the 3rd command center. He's just building 2 more, and then that's it. No more Hellions behind that. So a lot of players, when they go gas first, they double down. It's not just 1 Hellion dive, it's Hellion dive into Banshees, into more Hellions, into more Hellions. The problem that happens here, is, for most players, is if they don't find damage on the follow-up, their marine pressures are really late. Now, Maru, on the other hand, cuts the corner, goes straight for the command center, extra barracks, cuts the Hellion production, is like, no, that's cool, we're just going to go play a normal game now. So he's going to use the factory to build the reactors. The medevac, starport, sorry, will build its own reactor. Banshee looking for some more damage, and we'll get 1 drone, make it 2. Rogue a little slow to pull those workers away. Banshee takes a fair beating, but 4 drones, well worth it, I think. Still alive there. Double eBay does go down. Now, of course, you want to get the 3rd and the 4th gas, usually both soon after, because you're going to be going into medevacs, 1-1, and you've already got stim, but shields will have to queue up as well. We'll see. It looks like Maru actually does a very tailored version of the build, where he's figured out with that early gas from the gas first, he can get a 3rd gas and delay the 4th one away. So very high level adjustment. You can tell he's played this build order out a lot. He's figured out all the little tweaks to make it as efficient as possible. He's being really annoying with such a small number of units. And Rogue's economy sucks balls. So only on 53 drones. Okay, a lot more popping out as I say that. He's got a very quick spire as well, which will give him great control. Now, the last time we saw these builds go head-to-head, this double medevac marine pressure hit well before 1-1 and combat shields was ready. And because of that, as another 2 drones go down, very nice. Because of that, the Mutas just killed it and basically won the game, right? The Mutas overwhelmed the push with a few Zerglings and Queens, killed the Marines, chased him home, won the game. Now, that's what we saw last time we saw this happen. This time, though, 14 drones have died. So he's definitely done a bit more to Rogue. And as he pushes out, I think the Mutas will kind of line up along with that. But oh my god, Rogue, no Overlords watching the back of his base, which I'm a little surprised by. I thought he'd have one back here so he could see where this unit's moving from. It's nice to have the ring out on the map and prioritize that. But look, he's got 5 Overlords just sitting there. Why doesn't he have an Overlord here, 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 and here? On these maps with lots of dead space, you actually do want to have Overlords there, just so you can see when those units come on in, guys. Now, of course, Rogue's delayed his Evo chambers. He should be dropping them about now, just so he can get his 1-1 started. About the time 2-2 starts, usually. So that's pretty normal when you go for the quick Mutas here. And it's all about, if Maru overextends, he could end up in big trouble. It's a lot of Zerglings. Banshee's ready to deal with the Zergling run-by, though. And you got to be careful, because those Marines can dive in. You got nothing at home right now. This is so dangerous. Wait, Rogue? Rogue? Oh no, 1-1 in combat shields is kicked in, and he's got no Banelings. Rogue's going to give up his fourth? Wait, what's he needs to be morphing Banelings with everything he's got at home. He's got 5 Lava Idol. He needs to be making Mauling Bane. He's going for like a base trade. Rogue playing high risk, high reward, but I think Maru gets the jump on him. And there we go. Okay, sorry guys. Lings and Mutas jump on top of these Marines. Oh shit, the wall off barely gets down, but it does get broken open. Mutas don't have an Overseer, so we can't deal with the Banshee right now. Lings and Mutas gonna go in after this. Nice mass repair, that turret fighting for its life. Maru's gonna try to shove in on the other side of the map. We'll go take a look at that at the moment. As an amazing defense there. And look at this, the Banelings are holding on, but I think you gotta be careful here as Rogue don't jump the gun. He's got to get more Banelings up. As long as you got Banelings up, Maru can't push into that because he's busy microing at home. The Mutas are coming home now. 10 SCVs go down. And a miraculous hold for Maru. Rogue's being forced to take his fourth on the right side. And I've got to ask the question. Rogue had Mutas. Maru was attacking into him. Mutas would have been perfect for shutting that attack down if he had some Banes and Lings all together. And Rogue, I think he was a little too slow to set up the run by. Maybe didn't realize how stiff that push was that was coming his way. And we all know that a surprising stiffy can be very powerful, so that's exactly what Maru's given to Rogue this game, and now he's on his last legs. He's got so few Banelings, he's trying to get up enough defense. 1-1 versus 0-0, 1-1 only now starting for Rogue. Look at that, the Spore goes down, and look at this area. You don't want to get baited in there. One Mutalisk falls, the other Widowmine's still ready to fire, one in reserve on the left flank as well. Maru, he's just trying to bait Rogue into running down this ramp and eating bad Widowmine shots. Great Ling pull! Oh, he pulls the Widowmine onto the Widowmine, the Medevac and Marine. Rogue still, though, down in upgrades. And guess what? This army's being reinforced. 4th Command Center's on the way behind this. 2 factories and Drilling Claws pumping away. Maru doesn't even have a sense of urgency. He simply senses that he can do damage, and so he's committing. He's like, hey, if I'm doing crazy damage, then why the heck not? His Medevacs are very low, but they're still healing. The Widowmine's not really getting any good shots just yet. Great spreadies there from Rogue. One more Widowmine in reserve could be a game changer. Oh, it friendly fires. And look at that. They're all going to get blasted out of the sky. Rogue with a resounding victory. Maru has overstayed his welcome and thrown away the most of his army. That was very much needed. Right before 2-2 kicks in, 25 seconds from now, Rogue finds a little bit of damage, a bit of purchase. And can he do more? He wants to. He's making nothing but Mutiling Bane right now. Maru's going to try and push out on the map. He's got some Widow Mines, but he's got very few Marines. This is it. Go Rogue. Go Rogue. Oh, why is he's got to go with his Zerglings. Okay, he's going to... Oh, I don't like the way I don't like the way Rogue's engaging this. I think he needed to go in with the Zerglings there and try to take those Widow Mines on the face if he was going to fight. But now Rogue getting pushed back and giving up on it. And I think this is the time where you got to set up some run-bys as Rogue. He's trying to drone up. He's got a 5th up there, 4th up there, but his worker count sucks balls. He's got 1-1 kicking in. Guess what? 2-2's already done, plus 3 attacks on the way. Maru miles out on the upgrades, and it really is the job of these mutas to get around these forces, but Overlord speed not done, so he loses that Overseer. Doors, 2 more barracks, and plus 3 armor on the way as well. Oh, he's actually got all 3 barracks, so he'll add tech labs on those momentarily. Selects all of his idle workers and just tells them to go over to that 4th base. And that triple tech lab goes down, scans the 5th, sees it's not finished, and he knows your economy sucks. He knows that he's in a good spot. He can afford to take his time in this game, Maru can. Rogue's the one who needs a bit more urgency, and he goes for it. 14 drones, run by on the left. Widowmine fires. Big Widowmine connection. Few Marines and Marauders left here. They will defend. Mutas do clear out the missile turret, but Marines are hot on their trail. That Overseer will be going down momentarily. Ooh-wee. Goes for the medevacs and these Marines. Great micro by Maru. 13 SCVs do end up falling, though. I guess got a few more with the mutas than we realized. Maybe got a few there as well. Infestation pits on the way. 85 workers are now out for Rogue. If Rogue can keep doing run-bys, he'll be good. But remember what I've said about how these Widow Mines on the edges to spot run-bys are so common? You need to have Overseers with your run-bys in future so that each run-by opens the path for the future ones. And then you force Maru to keep resetting them up. I think really going deep on clearing Widow Mines more consistently and spreading Overseers with your army, not just with your mutas, something that we'd like to see a little more from Zerg players. It's hard with the APM restraints. Definitely something I'd like to see a little more of. Hive is on the way. Creep is spread out a little, but there's not that many queens. 6 queens out. Needs to get a move on with this creep spread. Vehicle armor and a 5th command center on the way. Maru's almost max, so he'll want to be pushing very soon. Muta's going to go for the main base. How does he know he's there? How did he know that? What? What? He stimmed to get over there because he was like, ooh. He just knew. Somehow he knew. He was like, okay, the Mutas will be going for my main base soon. Realized he didn't have a lot of anti-air in there. Did not want this disruption in the main. He needs to get a bunch more turrets, and I think he'll just leave either some Marines or a Thor there just to shore up his defenses. Hive's about to kick in. I think Rogue's surviving a late game. The question is, are we going Lurkers? Because I certainly hope not. I feel like Lurkers have been the wet noodle of his arsenal in this series. They really have not done that much. Feels like he's slapping his opponent with a piece of spaghetti. I'd like to see Ultras. I'd like to see Infestors, Broodlords, any of those other units. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of pro players scoffing at that and saying those units are shit because of X, Y, and Z, or Z if they're Chads. Oh, that Widow Mine's got 31 kills. I keep talking about these Widow Mines. He just hasn't cleared them up. Maru's pushing through the middle. Baneling's rolling into Marauders. Not the greatest sitch. Oh, kind of a terrible sitch, in fact. Oh, that is a no. That is a no. Guys, I always talk about it. The peak skill of a pro gamer is looking at an army and in the blink of an eye, recognizing if it's a yes or a no. Yes, engage, no pull back. That was a no, but Rogue committed into it. Took even more Widow Mines on the face here. Maru is absolutely friggin' slaying him. Rogue was back in this game. But guys, you cannot roll Banelings into an army unassisted because if the opponent spreads, the Banelings simply cannot be efficient unless you've sandwiched them up against a wall or something. It does not work, but now suddenly, I think Maru's just killed him. Maru's lost almost no army. He's finally losing a few SCVs. The Muta's doing a good job, but Rogue threw away 50 Banelings. Those Banelings needed to be used to buy time. Losing the central hatch should not have been the end of the world, but it is what it is. And Maru does take the 4-2 victory and wins that one. The end of that game, and that was yet again another savage display of the efficiency. In terms of the engagements, Maru outplayed Rogue all series long to a frightful degree. When it came to those engagements, a frightful degree. Let's just rewind and watch that Baneling fight one more time. Could Rogue have hung in this game if he didn't take that Baneling fight? Well, first of all, actually, let's look at the Widow Mines. So this Widow Mine already had 10 kills. Oh my god, and look at this. 10 Banelings blowing up on a Widow Mine. Another big Widow Mine there. 2 Widow Mines there as well. Oh, this is so bad for him. Goes back in. And then loses all the Zerglings and 2 Mutas die. Oh, absolute disaster, guys. If this was a pure Marine army, rolling the Banes in might have been okay, but you add Concussive Shell, the Marines get control clicked and pulled back, the Thor. I mean, this is a lot of Banelings. It's about 32, 35 Banelings here, guys. He could have pulled those back, and when the Marauders are trying to push up this ramp, you could roll into them. When they're a bit more clumped up, maybe do something there. It was always going to be tough. He was trying to go Ultras, but he was, of course, quite far behind from earlier on in this game. He was down 2 upgrades. His back was up against the wall. Needed to quickly evacuate these drones and try to salvage this situation. This fight was maybe possible if he could get more Lings on it, but the reinforce was arriving for Maru as well, who was reinforcing from the left. So fantastic play by Maru. He gets the 4-2 victory and he takes it out. Bloody well played. And he wins the DreamHack Masters Winter Season Finals.